Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixie Land. My name's Amy. I'm an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the book of First Chronicles, and we are in chapter 22. Then David said, "The house of the Lord God is to be here, and also the altar of burnt offering for Israel." Now remember, that's in the last chapter. The King David was having the Levites move from Obed-Edom, the altar, because last time they tried to move it, somebody died, to the preparations for the temple. So over to where he is, where the temple will eventually be built in Jerusalem. Preparations for the temple. So David gave orders to the assembly to assemble the aliens living in Israel. From among them, he appointed stone cutters to prepare dressed stones for the building of the house of God. See, so Solomon built it, but David planned and prepped it, teed it up for his son. He provided a large amount of iron to make nails for the doors of the gateways and for the fittings, and more bronze than could be weighed. He also provided more cedar logs that could be counted, for the Sidonians and the Tyranians, so like Tyre and Sidon, had brought large numbers of them to David. David said, "My son Solomon is young and inexperienced, and the house to be built for the Lord should be of great magnificence and fame and splendor in the sight of all the nations. Therefore, I will make preparations for it." So David made extensive preparations before his death. Then he called for his son Solomon and charged him to build a house for the Lord. See, get that? So at no point was building a house for the Lord was Solomon's only idea. And then the way he later interacted with God, that could be reflected, because he did what he was told. And he might have even felt it deeply in his heart in that moment. But part of that's going to be because he was told to. Not just because he had to be told. So it's not quite the same. "My son, I had it in my heart to build a house for the name of the Lord my God. But this word of the Lord came to me. You have shed much blood and fought many wars. You are not to build a house for my name, because you have shed much blood on earth in my sight. But you will have a son who will be a man of peace and rest. And I will give him rest from his enemies on every side. His name will be Solomon." Footnote of C, Solomon sounds like and maybe derived from the Hebrew word for peace. Shalom. Solomon. Personally, I think Shalom as a name sounds a lot more like Shalom. Personally, but Solomon. "And I will grant Israel peace and quiet during his reign. He is the one who will build a house for my name. He will be my son, and I will be his father. And I will establish the throne of his kingdom over Israel forever." And that did happen. Solomon's day is the heyday of Israel's history. Solomon's reign. "Now, my son, the Lord be with you, and may you have success, and build the house of the Lord your God as he said you would. May the Lord give you discretion and understanding when he puts you in command over Israel, so that you may keep the law of the Lord your God. Then you will have success if you are careful to absorb the decrees and the laws the Lord gave Moses for Israel. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged. I have taken great pains to provide for the temple of the Lord 100,000 talents and it's got a footnote of D, that is about 375 tons, or 3,450 metric tons of gold. 1,000,000 talents, that is over 37,500 tons, or 34,500 metric tons of silver. Quantities of bronze and iron too great to be weighed, and wood and stone. And you may add to them. You have many workmen, stonecutters, masons, and carpenters, as well as men skilled in every kind of work, in gold and silver, bronze and iron, craftsmen beyond number. Now begin the work, and let the Lord be with you. Then David ordered all the leaders of Israel to help his son Solomon. He said to them, is it not the Lord your God with you? Is not the Lord your God with you? That's a great question. And has he not granted you rest on every side? For he has handed the inhabitants of the land over to me, and the land is subject to the Lord and to his people. Now devote your heart and soul to seeking the Lord your God. Begin to build the sanctuary of the Lord God, so that you may bring the ark of the covenant of the Lord and the sacred articles belonging to God into the temple that will be built for the name of the Lord. So that's a bit of history that you don't get in the other thing. It just makes it sound like David passed, and now Solomon, given the charge and everything, went to God, asked for the wisdom, and asked for, okay, now let me build the temple of the Lord. No. David did a whole lot of pre-planning, and Solomon picked up where he left off and took it forward. Doesn't mean he didn't do it in good faith, in his own good faith. But it also does mean that the obligation of it was indeed part of why it happened, because he was presented to him as an obligation in advance. So, I mean, it's still in his own free will to do it or not do it. So all the glory of building the temple of the Lord belonging where it lays. I think it's kind of equally split, in my opinion, between David and Solomon. But either way, it's glory to the Lord. So it doesn't really matter who's glorifying the Lord, as long as someone's glorifying the Lord. So until the next video, friends.